What's up guys, it's Handmade here. We're going to take you behind the scenes of how we make this handmade wedding band. Francisco worked with this really nice couple and they really fell in love with one of the chevron designs we do here. So we're going to take you behind the scenes and show you how it's done. Alright guys, so we have this gold that we're going to scrap down. We have the scrap bracelet and the ring. We're going to use these guys together and melt them to make the new scrap gold for the wedding bands we're making. We're making matching wedding bands for a couple. They want something very similar, but with a little different width to it. So we're going to start by turning on the fire. Just giving a little propane. Oops. I'm going to add oxygen to it. Get it ready to melt. See everything melting down a bit. Increase the heat a little bit. You can really see it getting a little melty, moving around a little bubbly. I'm going to add a little boric acid for cleaning. It's going to stick to a lot of the impurities. And you can see it kind of moving a lot more freely there. Going to heat here. Bring the heating point to a similar point. So when we pour it in, it pours evenly. I'm just getting away from all that gross stuff. Freeing the gold. We're going to go ahead and take this and see our new bar. This is our little piece of gold. Going to take it down to the rolling mill, start getting to the right size and shape and width, and go from there. Alright guys, now that we got the gold melted, we have this nice solid piece. And we're going to take it down to the rolling mill and start squaring it off. So both of the guys really like the design, but they want a subtle little difference where the width will be very similar, but just a little smaller. So one's going to go with a 4mm, while the other does a 4.5mm. I think they're mostly thinking about proportions on the finger size. What we're doing now is using our rolling mill to square out the piece. I'll show you shortly. The piece is now becoming more square. And when we want to keep on going, to get it fully square. Once I get it fully square, we'll stop the process for you guys, just because it has to go a little further to get to the proper width. What we're kind of shooting for is almost a 0.5mm smaller than the width we actually want as a square. So when we flatten it out, the square becomes wider and flatter as a wedding band. Let's take another look as it continues to square up. See a little bit of threading here, but a nice solid edge. Gonna keep on going, constantly rotating a quarter and ensuring that the gold's not getting too stressed. Gonna take a quick measurement to see where we're at. Now we got a beautiful square and a longer bar. Take our gauge here, that 489, 491, looking pretty square to me. All right, so now we're back at the bench. We're gonna heat up the gold. Just add some propane, some oxygen to get that torch going. Start angling up a little bit towards the gold. You'll see it kind of dance a little bit. That's what my dad always says, a little dancing of the gold. That's just the oxidation of the gold. So we're gonna heat it up. Make sure it gets all nice and warm and evenly heated. From there, we're going to take it back to the rolling mill and continue to get the proper width. All right, guys, so we got our piece rolled out a little bit more, down to about 4mm. Now the trick here, because they both want a different width, is we need to cut it at one point. So we can make one 4.5 and make the other 4. So we're going to take it from here, where we're just below 4. We're going to cut a nice bit off for one of the ring, then separate the pieces, roll out the other bar a bit smaller. From there, we'll have the 2 different widths of the rings and each one of their finger sizes. After we got the pieces cut, I'll show you quickly and roll them on flat. So here's our bar. I pre-cut it a bit just to save you the time. We have the longer piece for the bigger finger size and the wider width, and the smaller piece for the smaller width and the smaller finger size. We'll take this, put it in our ring clamp. Give that a nice little whack. Take our saw. As you hear that higher pitch, that means it's about to fall down. And boom. So now we have the 2 pieces. So each one of them will get a wedding band from a single bar of gold. We're going to start rolling them flat in order to make them look more wedding band-like. Start with a wider band. You can already see it kind of flattening out. Continue. Just checking the depth as we go. So now we're going to throw in the second bar too. And start doing both at the same time. So we're going to continue this process until we get the right depth and the right width for both the rings. From there, we're going to round it out and start getting more of our traditional ring shape. Okay, so we got our 2 pieces of gold. I cut the flat ends and we're going to roll them into rings. So come on. Using our roller here, you can see you start getting that round shape. So we know these are generally finger size. So this is going to be our first base shape. Going to trim off this end here. Then we have our first ring. Going on to the second piece. Going to move one over. It's a more petite finger size. His size, one of the finger sizes is about a 10, and the other gentleman's is about a 6 1/4. So that's why one is going to be that thinner width and one's going to be a wider width, just for their personal preferences. But we have our base shape for the next ring too. So we're back at the bench. We got our solder cut and our rings ready to go ahead and solder. So we're going to take our larger piece of solder, put it right between the ring there, and take our other piece of solder, put it right between the ring there. Take our torch, and increase the heat a little bit. There we go. We got one. On to the next. Now we know the good heating point of the gold. It's going to be a lot easier. Each piece of gold has a different alloy in there, even if because we make handmade recycled gold. And because of that, it's a little trickier when we're hand soldering each one. There's a little bit more inconsistency because they're recycled. And there we go. Two beautiful rings. We have our rings soldered, rounded, and cooled down to the touch now. I did some sanding on the inside, just to get them cleaned up a bit. Got them to the proper sizing. What we're going to do now is file the solder on the outside just to make it nice and clean. From there, take it to our cleaning tumbler process to get it ready for our custom finish. We're going into the tumbler. We'll let this cook for about 20 minutes and get back to it. We'll show you. Time to get the rings out. Got our 2 rings from the tumbler. Go and take that first one and just show you kind of how the process works with the finish. Put it on here for you. Give it a nice little whack to hold it in place. We're going to change the head on our Dremel. This is a sanding head that we use a lot of times for the solder spots to this cutting head disc. This is a big boy. We're going to open this up a little bit. Now we're not going to use the disc in the traditional way. We're actually going to use a cutting edge. So safety goggles, super important. And we're going to get started. It's a lot of feel. Go the other way now. Come back the other way, just connect the lines a little better. And look at that. So we're going to continue this pattern throughout the whole ring on both sides. Okay guys, we got our wedding bands etched with the design now. Going to go ahead and take it up for a polish. After polishing, into the ultrasonic for final cleaning. Alright guys, so there you have it. Here are our custom made, handmade, chevron style wedding bands. Fully made from one piece of recycled gold. And we just hope they go on to have great lives together. Thanks for watching. Until next time.